Hello and welcome to a very chilly Boxing Day morning here in sunny Nova Scotia today. If slightly chilly, or should I say bracing, minus 7 degrees C today. I think it's minus 15 in the wind chill. Not sure what that is in old money, but it's pretty chilly. But I'm back in the greenhouse, as you can see. Don't want to take too much time off. And there's no better way to cure the excesses or get rid of the excesses of Christmas Day than shoveling 5 bags of horse manure. Gets the nostrils going and gets the blood going as well. So what I'm doing today is I am filling, or part filling, my big raised bed that I've just made. As you can see here, I've it's a big deep one. It's about three foot or so. And I've filled the lower half of it with old twigs and branches and leaves, etc., just to fill it up, so I don't have to put too much manure and compost in there. And those branches are gonna rot down and turning themselves into compost over time. And anything I grow in here is not really going to go as deep down with its roots as the branches in one go. So I'm happy with that, and over time, like I said, it's going to rot down, so that's good. It's that Hugelculture, although I'm not too sure, I haven't read too much on that type of gardening, but I believe it's that Hugelculture type of thing. Anyway, enough of that. What I've got, so I've got all these branches here, and I'm going to fill it half full with this horse manure. And I've lined the sides of the bed as well with polythene, just to keep that the moisture off the wood that's not treated, etc. All this pallet wood, it might be hardwood, most of it, but I'll give it a little bit of protection where I can. All this lovely horse manure should rot down over the winter and be ready for me to start planting in the summer. I'm going to put the manure up to about that height, and then the last bit I'm going to use compost from my compostarium. I'm also, once I've put these bags of manure in here, I'm going to go down the beach on our traditional Boxing Day walk down the beach. I'm also going to take the chance of collecting a bit of seaweed as well. So I'm going to bung a load of seaweed in there, mix that all in, and that'll be a real rocket fuel for whatever I plant in the spring and the summer next year. So that'll be really good growing conditions. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to empty these bags, pop off down the beach, and I'll be right back with a bit of seaweed. So that's me been down the beach to collect some seaweed, and definitely the full minus 15 of wind chill down there, I can tell you. Absolutely brass monkeys, but a nice warming cup of tea should do the trick. Now, I was lucky, there was loads and loads of good seaweed down there. Lots and lots of, there's been a few storms recently, so that we've had a lot of seaweed washed up. For you guys that are lucky enough to live near the sea, or that can get hold of some seaweed, I highly recommend using it in the garden. I use it in lots of different ways, and I think there's a video pointer up on the screen now for one of my videos on how to use seaweed around the garden. I use it for mulching, I use it in the compost heap, I use it to make liquid fertilizer. So if you want to click that video, that's a really good video, even if I say so myself, on how to use seaweed in different ways in the garden. So I've dumped 3 bags of it in here. I think that'll do me, and what I'll do is just going to give this a good old mix around. And what I'm going to do now is get another 5 bags of manure tomorrow morning, and that'll probably be enough to see me through, get that all to rot down, and then in the springtime I'll fill it up with compost to the level I want, just about up there, and that should be absolute rocket fuel. that'll be a good mix. The rest of this seaweed now, I'm going to use it, like I said, as a mulch. I've got some apple trees that still need some mulch around it, and various other bits and bobs, so that's what I'm going to use the rest of the seaweed for. And of course I've got the one, two, three raised beds that I've got to fill up as well. Only one at the moment, but so I've got to fill that up, so that's more manure, more seaweed I'm going to put in there, and let that get to work over the winter. So believe it or not, that's 15 bags. 56 litre bags of horse manure. So 15 bags of horse manure, 3 bags of seaweed, and I'm going to add a bucket of wood ash, because I've got a wood burner. Don't want to put too much wood ash in, but I'll mix that in as I turn it over. So that's one big compost heap now, really, and I've filled it up as high as I have, because actually up to a third to a half of that I could lose in volume as it starts to rot down now over the winter time. That should provide a bit of heat in here as well, as it happens, to work in, so once it gets going. So that's that. That'll rot down now nicely. And then, like I said, I'll fill the rest of it up with the compost I've got in my compost heap in the springtime. So that is that job definitely done now. And I can move on to the rest of fitting out the shelves and the outside bit. Job's a good one.